Happy Friday. Welcome to the Lazy Redhead. And if you don't know, today, what am I doing? Currently, I'm just making lunch. And I thought, do you know what? I need to. So you'll see a little bit there. Floors are down. Floors are down. This isn't the Renault 3, as you more than likely. It's more like a kind of catch up / apology, show and tell situation. All will be revealed throughout today's video, but right now I'm making a toasty. Now is that all right? Wait there. I'm making a toasty because I'm starving and should be fine. I had a dodgy onion the other week and I thought it was fine and it wasn't, and I wasn't very well at all, so I'm kind of a bit cautious. So yeah, this week is really kind of like a cobbled together video. I was going to do a live, but I thought I would be a lot further along, with all of which we're going to deal with today. The studio / sunroom is bombed. I had to deal with obviously the floors being put down, and I don't know whether anyone has had laminate down. I hadn't had laminate down in a minute, so I couldn't remember how dusty it all got. And I can't tell you the stress that I felt, the overwhelming horror, sheer horror that I had to endure when I had to realise I had to rip out the entire pantry. Everything was covered in wood dust. I didn't think about it at all. Silly sausage, that's all I can say. Silly sausage. And I'm starving. So, do you know what I thought? Right, well, I've done some admin, emailed some people, you know, because I'm behind on all that. I'm still going through comments and stuff. I've just been like completely somewhere else. But I have been doing stuff in my sketchbooks. I say books, it's more like 2 and they're tiny, but there's some great ideas. And I will be discussing these ideas with you, but we do need to get the studio sorted because it is a bomb. It's the only room in the house that wasn't getting refloored. So you can imagine. It's a bit better now. I have taken some stuff out. I've put the dining room table back and things like that. I haven't been shopping, so I have little to no food in the fridge. I'm just generally feeling sorry for myself. But we're going to have a toasty or 2. We'll have 2 toasties. Do you know what it is, right? I always fear that I'll get halfway through like one and go, I am still hungry, I'm still starving. I always make 2 and I always end up only managing 1.5. I'm assuming everyone's okay though, on account that I can't really hear your responses. Everyone seems to be doing well on the swap and share. I love getting inspired. Oh, that's it, inspirational pictures. Our resident traveller, Sophie, has sent me some stuff. She's doing amazing. She's only had 1 or 2 meltdowns, but she didn't cry. So we can all be delighted in that. I think she's going to be uploading, twice a month, I think she said, or something like that, because she does, obviously she's traveling around and she does have a blog to run as well, so yeah, she's got a lot to do. She's going to be doing like stories on her Instagram and stuff like that, so yeah. Why won't you go in my mouth? What else? Yeah, so I'll show you some pictures. Now this one is of a tram line. She thought that I would find the actual lines interesting, and she ain't wrong, because there's a beautiful tree in this picture as well. And then I've just got loads of her dog, Lulu, who's just being genuinely mischievous, and secret footage because I've got the VIP access. Very privileged. but she's doing well. She's doing fine. Right, I've made a right bloody mess. Let me clear up this pissing mess. Okay, they're going to take a while. You can see parts of the dining room, which I didn't want you to see because it's all revealed proper in the reno video, which I'm still filming. I've got a few more bits to do in the house, and I wanted to do like a full kind of phase in, phase out kind of video. So don't look. Stop looking, nosy. I'll be zooming in and I know, but my quality of life generally is a lot better. I can get things clean now. Can you believe it? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great, guys. I'm so excited. Right, I know this week is going to be a bit weird because on account of the fact that it is Thursday. So we've kind of got less of a week, more of kind of like 4 hours to shoot this shit. What are we going to do first? Oh yeah, I'll go and let's look at the studio in its current condition, shall we? So yeah, we have still a little bit to move. All these boxes need to be built. That's my husband's job. The running machine is currently occupied by paint. This is the studio area. Yeah, it's a mess actually, and it's quite, it's just very unorganized, very messy. This mirror's got to go on the landing. We've got this sun mirror that I could probably put up because it's tripping over myself. The sun mirror I want in the living room. It's fairly light, so I think that we could probably get away with that. These will have to stay here. Oh, holes. It's all very overwhelming, I've decided. Okay, if I spend an hour doing my best, trying to make some space on here, we can do our show and tell. I think this is the most responsible thing for me to do right now. And then we could do some stuff. I don't know. I really don't know how today's going to pan out, but it has to be productive. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Wish me luck. Okay. Here we go. Right, I've cleaned up the studio and I will show you that in just a moment. For now, I'm going to show you a show and tell. Now, it is Friday and it is 10:40, which means I missed a bit of a deadline, but no fear because tonight I have planned for a 7 o'clock live. So this is technically in the future, but I know a lot of people can't make the lives, so I'm going to do the show and tell here that I'm going to be doing tonight on the live. Does that make sense? Right, okay, so let's start at the beginning. So everyone knows that I'm totes for a bit of the old diamondage, right? One of the ideas I had was trying to merge kind of messy with the orderly of the diamond pattern. I really love the juxtaposition. I like the play that they have with one another. I have been doing this for a while on other projects, certainly in my A4 projects when I did the seaweed. I think I'll just show you just in case you're new, But I feel like I've made some serious progress. So this was the piece I was referring to. So this is seaweed. Sorry about the light. That's also updated. Again, show you in a moment. So this is meant to be seaweed. And behind, you know, you get it. You can quite see, right? But it's the idea is to create an image that plays off the two approaches to drawing, essentially. Two vibes coming together, making a single trashy / fabulous vibe. Love it. And I've been kind of experimenting with this idea. All right. So that's kind of where I've come from. And I decided to continue with this line of inquiry on 2 smaller sketchbooks. This is a Art Creation A5, whereas this is a smaller than A5, you'll see, more like a sort of borderline A6, I think, in some respects. It's a sketchbook called Doodle. We all know my thoughts on this sketchbook. Anyway, here we go. I love this. I think this perfectly represents the ideas that I've been going for. It beautifully combines everything I love. Colour, expressive marks, anything in the sky. I love snow, I love stars, I love moons, love it, all the way down to this new pattern. And I'm obsessed with this piece. And it was just meant to be a doodle. By the way, this is all in pencil. Okay. Now there's a little story behind this, because from here on out, guys, we go batshit crazy, right? So the idea was, I went through these sketchbooks, and you can see I've got quite a few trees and such likes. We've got Chubby Tree on here that was collaboration, really. I think it was this sketchbook, or was it the A5? Probably the A5. Chubby Tree is a rendition that we did from Alive. Yeah, here we go. Chubby Tree. And I was looking through my sketchbooks thinking, I love trees. I like the different personalities I can create with trees. I figured out by doing this, though, that I almost use trees where some artists would use figures, right? The trees have almost become that figurative element within my work, and I don't know what that's about. It's just it's a thought that I've had. I'm not into figures. I like figures being used in a lot of artists' work. It's just, for me, the place for them is not there. Like, the feeling of a figure in my work is not correct. It doesn't feel right. So I realised that I have a lot of renditions of trees, and then the thought occurred, and it's something I've said to you guys countless times, you cannot expect a single piece to represent everything you're about, everything you love, okay? So if we go back to this one, this is a good example. I've got a lot of what I love in here. This new diamond effect kind of creeping in, sort of almost encroaching up the land. I love that, right? I also love the scratchiness, the textures I've created with the pencil, which is why I love pencil. I love the colours. I love the variation of colours. I love how it overlaps to create new and exciting colours. I love how I've created the sky. The sky for me is the creme de la creme. I bloody love it. I'm obsessed, right? This piece represents a lot that I'm about, but I love a tree, but it just didn't fit right in this piece in the moment. So that was me going, Elise, back up, mofo, back up. You can't expect a single piece to literally house and represent everything you love, right? Give it a go, and I'm sure that there's some brilliant ideas that could be had. But then I thought, hang fire, chicken tits. This is a genuine quote for quote dialogue I had with myself. Why don't we create a blanket style? This idea came from a blanket I'm totes obsessed with and am so close to purchasing for my new bedroom. It's got a diamond pattern like this, and inside each of the diamonds have got different flowers, different colours. It's absolutely stunning, right? And so I stole the idea from the blanket and decided to swap out the flowers with the copious amounts of trees that I love and adore. So obviously we have the wobbly roots. Then we have these kind of really loopy ones that I discovered whilst a holiday in Scotland. I've got Lean on Me, which I love. These, oh, okay, right, let's discuss that sneeze. Yes, it's a genuine sneeze. No, I'm not going to discuss it. It just is what it is. Right, moving on. Chubby Tree. This little guy is something that I've recently discovered, which is in this sketchbook, so we'll show and tell that in a minute. And then I thought, right, well, I ran out of trees for now. I thought maybe I'll just do like suns. But these trees were all taken from the accumulation of these two books. So, and I realized I have so many ways to say tree. It's not what I usually do, but I'm absolutely obsessed. Oh, and I'm maybe coupling it with suns. Oh, honest to God. So I've got all my suns that I love to do. I'm sorry guys, but this is just beautiful, and I was so excited about it. You see the sun creeping in now, sorry. Okay, moving on. This was an idea stolen from Pinterest. I'm going to be open about that, although I'm just trying to read my notes. I didn't acknowledge the artist, unfortunately, so I'm sorry about that, but I did find it on Pinterest. I just I liked the way they had like floating diamonds, and they only had a couple, but it was enough for me to take the idea and just do my craziness on it. There's a lot about it I love, and I've also said a collage breakthrough. Now, those of you who are OGs will know that I've dabbled in a tiny bit of collage, and although there was some successful elements to it, it didn't go as well as I had hoped. So my brain was like, well, that was crap, I'm moving on. But it is still there. I still have every intention of circling back to collage because I know there's something there. And I think this is going to be a great example of that. So I've got lots of different papers. I've got wallpapers from the old house. I've got wallpapers that I've used in this house. So there, you know, I could potentially use the cumulative wallpapers of this house and create a really personal, almost nostalgic capsule piece for this house. And I think that that is going to be the kickboard for that idea. This one is almost like a reimagination of this one, but I've chosen to focus on stars because I love stars, and you know that I do. So I've chosen to imagine every star that I know how to do, and then this little collection is ones that I've again researched on Pinterest, so that I'm able to kind of accumulate enough stars to potentially do like a bigger version of this. Maybe collaborating with this, so I could have moons and stars coupled with the rendition of different trees and have it just cobbled together. Imagine this is all inspired, by the way, of the Pebble portrait, Pebbleicious Pebble portrait. This piece, those of you who don't know, this was kind of created on a live. This is kind of inspired by that idea. Okay, again, ripped off Pinterest. And I say ripped off, but let's be honest, right? Hang on, I got them mixed up. No, I haven't. Oh, I don't bloody know, who cares? Right, here we go. Okay, these two again have been inspired by Pinterest. This one, there was a drawing, and around the drawing was this text, so it kind of matched, and I really adored it. I thought it was very sweet. I thought it could be used in a very small piece. I again have a love of text and wanted to get text into my work, but felt that every time I attempted it, it would be very kitsch, illustrative. All those approaches to the creative process, by the way, are fabulous, and I love it, and some people really pull it off for both fine art purposes as well as an illustrative and craft, i.e. journaling, everything, that kind of vibe, right? I'm going for a very, very, very specific vibe. I need to be very careful about my approach to it because it's always a fine line, all right? I then decided to wrap this tree in like wrapping, like Christmas wrapping, just for shits and giggles, really. I love wrapping a wrapped tree as a present. So this is meant to be patterned paper. The inspiration actually was a swan. Someone had drawn an outline of a swan, and on that swan they had created stars, like coloured it in, but with the motif of stars, and I thought the idea was just delicious. So I decided to reimagine that same concept, but with a tree. One moment. This one was inspired by a Peter Doig piece. So I love a pink tree. OGs will hopefully know. Those of you that are new, because I've got a lot of new subscribers coming in now, it's no secret. I love a pink tree. It's almost like on brand at this point. So I decided to take Peter Doig's pink trees and create the same idea and just kind of get it down. Loved the idea of this kind of like looking through, and that's predominantly why I started following Peter Doig, as well as his approach to painting in general. I think his colour work palette, his technique is just delicious and I love it. But his imagery and how he sources that imagery is inspired. And I thought I would annotate this idea because I do want to maybe combine this with my love of diamonds and all that kind of thing. All right, so that's where we're at in this sketchbook. I feel like at this point Therese would be so proud. Although I didn't create these at breakfast trees, because I don't really have breakfast and I'm just a right grumpy bum in the morning, I did do like an evening thing. So maybe it could be like nighttime renders or something. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know how much I've done in here. Ah, here we go. It's only one in here, right? So this little thing is the tree. You see this coming up and then the blah, 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 and I did 2 of them. This was inspired actually by a tree that I saw in the village. I was walking to the post office to send off some orders and I looked down someone's pathway and on the pathway was this tree. No joke, it was wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. I didn't have... my phone wasn't taking pictures for some reason. I can't remember why, but anyway, I pulled up an app, you know, where you can actually draw on the phone. I did that quick and I made a little rendering of this tree. So that is where I got that wobbly wobbly tree from my little, here we go, that one, from my little patchwork. I think it's like so cute. Oh, so cute. So I really love this like hair piece. I don't know if I've got anything in this small thing. Probably not. Oh, yeah, I do. I lied to you. Yeah. And there we go. Here's another rendition of the wobbly wobbly tree. Wavy tree in the village. A friendly tree in the village. So a friendly village tree, I've called it. That's what I've called it. A friendly village tree. Because it's like waving. Oh, the sun's going in a little bit. Oh, that's delightful. Okay, so there we go. I think that is a successful nighttime scroll-a-rooney. Good morning, everyone. Oh, pull you forward. Those of you who attended my live a couple of nights ago will have already seen this and been familiar with it, right? So today, I'm just going to fix it. Wait there. There are different ways to fix this, but with the amount of oil pastel I've got going on this side, I am going to Mod Podge it. That's what I'm trying to say. But first, actually, before I do, I'm going to do something. Scratch some of it out. I decided it was quite dense, and although we liked some of it, bits of it we didn't. So I'm going to scratch some of it out and make it a bit more textured, you know. For those of you who didn't attend the live, don't worry. I do try and do sort of a live once a month. It's not really planned. It will be planned at some point. There will be a new schedule being created in the next few months. The lives I always find are really, really great. We have so much fun. Our favourite bit was this section here with the diamonds and the telegraph pole or the tram lines. This image was sent to us by the Lazy Tech Kid. She's currently in Amsterdam. I'm really happy with this. It's not by any means perfect. There are issues with it. Sometimes I do, with new pieces like this, I like to come away from it and then revisit it maybe a couple of days later. I love it. I'm loving these pastels. I love the fact that it's not all created. I love that, like it's not all painted in. I really, really enjoy this section here as well, where the oil pastels really caked in, and you've got like varying different textures here with the orderly fashion of the diamonds, then you've got the pencil, then you've got the oil pastel, like that thick opaque application. So I think I'm absolutely loving this section. This section from here onwards, there are moments of brilliance about it, but in its totality it's uncomfortable. You know, there are things about it that just aren't happening, and it's jarring. There's things that's just missing, all right? But it's a sketchbook at the end of the day, and there are moments of pure joy in it. So I don't feel the overwhelming need to be like, oh, it needs to go, it needs to be, no. A sketchbook is a tool. It is a working tool for artists to use for bigger and better pieces, to either figure out who they are or practice a very specific style or a specific genre or a specific medium. I don't know, whatever it is. But basically what a sketchbook allows you to do is document that progress. And what is not necessarily of value to me today may not be the case tomorrow, next week, in a year's time. But I won't be aware of that if I continuously plaster everything over to make it perfect. Now, this will only be as perfect as my idea of perfection today. Do you see what I mean? So that will change, but the progress will be a lot slower if I was to get rid of the things that I didn't feel was pretty, you know, or visually aesthetical. Don't get me wrong, there are times I do cover stuff over. And those are times where I really feel very, very strongly, like the feeling is almost visceral. I really do believe that there is absolutely no value to be had in that piece today, tomorrow, next year. And I feel very strongly about that. So no, this is not a definitive. This has got a lot to offer and I'm really excited about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to dry. I'm going to come back and sort of recreate this on, maybe, I don't know whether I want to do a bigger size or a smaller size or both. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do is talk you through how I extrapolate the bits I love into a new piece. I think that's a really good transition, because then I think that will put into practice what it is I'm trying to preserve. So yeah, let's do that, and I hopefully you'll get a more of a sense of the value that can actually be had in pieces that aren't really cohesive in a traditional sense. Okay. You know that way where you're trying to center your mind, body and spirit, because you know that you're very close to actually losing your proverbial shit. I did do a piece that I did film, and here's what I did it of. We have got this line here, and if you can see just there in the distance, we've got some telephone wires. So I'm going to take every straight that we have in this sort of view without the roofs. I don't want the roofs because it's quite clumpy. So just the clothesline and the telephone wires and things. I think that would be great for what we're trying to achieve. So you can see what I did it of. Next door neighbour's washing, and then the lines all make sense. Certainly with the idea of bringing out some of those, you know, horizontals, right? But I unfortunately somehow deleted the footage of me actually doing it. So, oh, now I've got a delivery. Okay. Do you know what I said? I woke up this morning and said, today is going to be a really good day. Jury's out on that right now. Back to it. Okay. Right. So I did do a piece. I just didn't, and I did film me doing a piece, but unfortunately, I deleted it in my eagerness to get the video done because I'm quite busy this week. But I'll show you it anyway. Okay, so what happened was, I've taken the verticals. It was obviously inspired by this section here, and obviously the diamonds are a bit bigger. That was more for kind of ease of getting a piece done and just seeing if the idea would overly work. I really like it. I love the playfulness. I think the clothes probably need to be darker, so that they're brought forward and the diamonds are kind of pulled backwards. The idea of them being a pastel colour was that they would recede into the background but be very much a feature of the piece. I like the mundane quality of it. I like the subject matter, you know, something quite mundane, everyday. And for me, this will be somewhat nostalgic. The fence is what we've had put up temporarily to keep my dogs out of their garden. The telephone wires, I think it's great, right? I really like it. I'm just so pissed off that I deleted the footage of me doing it because that was pretty much 90% of the video. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go back on the camera and I'm going to play with this one and potentially redo another piece in maybe a smaller book. But I still need to work on this one. Right now though, I am gonna make myself some lunch before I absolutely expire. And I might do pizza. I was gonna do avocado and egg, but I might do some pizza instead. Oh, we seem to be cooking on here now. Cooking, that was it. My mother is going to be doing a cake this week with me, which is another reason she's staying over the next couple of nights from tomorrow. So we're going to be filming the cake, the lemon drizzle cake. Really excited about it. But she did make me a coffee cake. So before we go to the studio, I'm going to show you the coffee cake so that you can all be slightly jelly belly. I need to sort my life out. Here we go. Here's the cake. This is to make everyone jealous. This is the coffee cake my mother has made me. Oh yeah. Go on then, mother. Just cut me off a slice. Oh yeah. Got to get the best angle, mum. Oh yeah. Panning, panning, panning. Thanks, mum. Cheers, everyone. Take two, I suppose, with terrible lighting. Oh my god, this today is just gonna be a very one of those days. Okay, so I'm gonna try and sort of bring forward the clothes. They kind of merge in with the diamonds, and that's not kind of what I wanted. It's not the case with all of them, but most of them. So just want to get those edges, you know, and just darken them up. See what I mean? And now the top is kind of forward now. Look, I'm gonna bring this in here, which is just like a dark green, just because it's all like this, what I have. Also, you know, the great thing about anything like this is do exactly that. Use what you have. Use what you have is definitely something I'm going to be focusing on more this year than most things. I think just this is just a personal thing. I do have a lot of stuff for a myriad of reasons. I have this channel, and you know, this channel requires me to, I don't know, try new stuff out, and you know, they're great videos to do it and reviews. I'm going to try and avoid kind of focusing on that so much this year. This one, I'm probably just going to go in with like a deep orange. There is a deep orange. Did I? There's this, nope. Let's just go with that one, shall we? It's still kind of, it's a bit better. It's more defined, isn't it? Brought forward. Now this one, I'm not so much bothered about the yellow one so much. No, probably should do. Probably should do. Should that do? Okay, cool. So you get what I'm saying. It's kind of brought the clothes a bit more in the forefront and knocked a lot of that diamond back, so that there is definitive layers then, you know. I feel that potentially there's a more that could be going on here, maybe. If I try and colour one of these diamonds in to see. Yeah. I don't mind space. I'm not afraid of space. looks a bit better. Maybe this one here as well. But with everything, as you know, there's a balance to it, isn't there? There's a bit of a balance. It's just a shame you didn't get to see this piece being rendered from the beginning. This really pissed me off. I think it's quite successful, actually. Again, I love the subject matter in this one. I think it's very mundane. Also think it captures the spirit of this piece a little bit. Just a little bit. This is more, obviously, a lot more playful. And I think that has a lot to do with the size of the diamonds are bigger. I feel that this is a bit kind of more, got a lot more to say. Just in terms of its interest, like its tramline rail, like tram lines, and the diamonds are smaller, and then there's a bit going on here. So there's, I think this one has a bit more about it, a bit more substance, whereas this is kind of a bit flat conceptually, I think. I do love the mundane aspect of it though, and I think if I was to potentially make this a smaller part, so say this whole setup was maybe in replacement of that, like here, and it was more like a kind of postage stamp size, I think that would kind of go. Again, this is all about consideration. How do I feel if this was all white though? Like if it didn't have the diamonds to sort of the actual scoring. Don't think it will add any more, to be fair. I don't mind the scoring now that I look at it. I don't mind that. Anyway, lots to ponder, guys. Lots to ponder. Hi guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Unfortunately, it wasn't what I had envisaged doing. And now I'm literally sweating in this sunroom / studio space. So I'm gonna leave it here, but what I have been doing is investing a little bit more time into the shorts. I have been doing some sketching and drawing whilst I'm in my bedroom, and I have been taking to creating some shorts, like show and tells, as I go along. I've actually found that really fun. It's a reason, isn't it? Sometimes we all need an excuse to do something. I'm very much one of those people. I can't just aimlessly do something without a purpose a lot of the time. And so having a better sketchbook practice in place, shorts just seem to kind of help me keep on top of that. I'll pick these up. Oh, she will eat them if I don't. And so we'll be nearing a sketchbook tour soon, surely. Yeah, that's a never-ending sound, isn't it? For the next few weeks, I'll probably just be concentrating on a few lives because my diary is full. My diary is full. I'm here, there, and everywhere, which is good because I get out the house just a little bit, and two, we get to experience a bit more of a plain art situation in areas that, you know, are all new and exciting for us. So in that respect, it's going to be marvellous. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to bid you a good week, and I will see you Friday. Or if you are into my shorts, then I will see you at some point every day-ish. Give or take a couple of days, obviously. Love ya, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye.